In this video, we're going to paint our dragon fruit using a limited color palette and examining the negative shapes. I'm going to tape off half of this dragon fruit so I can paint one pink and the other a darker pink to create a sense of shadow. Okay, so I'm gonna use my opera pink for this beautiful dragon fruit exterior. Add some white. So some colors tend to be more transparent, like pinks and yellows, straight out of the tube. So what I like to do is add a bit of this permanent white to give it a bit more body and a bit more opaque texture. Just a touch. All right, I'm gonna swatch it. It's a little thick. I'm gonna add a drop of water. And here we go, we're gonna do that first layer. One of the things I love about dragon fruit is how beautiful that exterior hot pink can be. Or interior, depending on which variety you get. Peel up that paper. There's a little bit where it went into the overlap. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna use some more tape because this tape needs a refresher. Okay, then I'm gonna go back in, use more of that straight opera pink and a touch of alizarin crimson because that's a cooler red and this opera pink is a cooler pink. Again, remember cooler means more blue toned. Okay, I'm gonna add a touch of water. And there we go. You can tell it's dry when it goes from shiny to matte. Voila! I'm going to go back and touch up a couple little points on this side and then we're good. All right. Now I'm going to take the darker pink that I mixed up and paint the exterior skin of the dragon fruit. But we're looking at the interior flesh now. So the inside is white and I'm just going to leave it the white of the paper. That's maximizing our use of negative space, baby. And I'm using the darker pink here because it's like the darker shadow color, which then shows that that piece of fruit is behind the other piece of fruit that's up left. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is add green for the little like leaf spikes on the plant. And I'm going to use that linden green again and some olive green. Just a little bit. And so we're going to take that linden green and add a touch of that olive green. add 1 drop of water to get more of a heavy cream consistency. And I'm going to paint it in. So the way these leaves attach to the dragon fruit, it's more like it's a part of a fruit than separate, like say in the way citrus leaves are. And so what I'm going to do is try and create a blend between the pink and the green using dry brushing so that it looks like it does in life where it's attached. Like it's part of the whole body of the fruit. I'm also going to add a little bit more of just that like bright lighter green on top. And I'm going to do this while the green is still somewhat wet, just so it blends a little easier. See how it blends smoothly versus a dry brush where you can see it more on top? It's really subtle. But when you're doing wet on wet blending, you're going to get more of that smooth rendered effect. Okay, now I'm going to go back with my pink. And this time I'm not going to add water because I want that dry brush effect. And I'm going to dry brush up into the green a little bit. So now we're not trying to create a smooth gradient, we're just trying to create like a visual gradient. And that just gives it a little more texture and play. I like that grain texture more than a smooth texture sometimes. And I think the contrast of having that smooth green on top and then this more contrasty pink to blend just feels like a nice design difference. So that not everything is like same. So it's not perfectly like a perfectly blended gradient, but it's a visual gradient, which is nice. Okay, now you're gonna go back with another brush, a nice clean brush. We're gonna pick up more of this light green, and actually I'm gonna add some permanent white to it to again bulk up that texture like we did with the pink. And what we're doing here is adding in those little arrow points. Again, I'm simplifying this shape from what it is as the fruit, just for the sake of creating a more designed and graphic illustration. This is a symbol of a dragon fruit and not an exact medical illustration of it, let's say. All right, now that we've done that, I want to add a little bit of shadow underneath the arrows, and that's just like as simple as a little darker green line. Again, to give that little bit of a contrast and dimension. The details are really nice to draw that out. So again, you'll see that we've simplified this dragon fruit into a graphic illustration by simplifying the shape into an oval, triangles, lines, and curves. It's as easy as that. Now we're going to do our finishing touch, which is to add all the little dots that are inside the dragon fruit. So we're going to take black. However, we're going to do two different shades of black. We're going to do like a lighter gray black. We're going to take our fine point 00 brush and go in and do the dot work that's like the inside of a dragon fruit. The dots vary in shape and size, and so you can play around with that. The key to making it look more realistic is that they are not evenly spread out like polka dots. It's not a pattern like that. They're more in like little clusters, and it looks more random than a polka dot pattern. Okay, and then you'll take that black, which I added a touch of the gray too, so it's not like the darkest black. If it was super just the darkest black, you could do that too. It might be too much contrast and the eye would just keep going to that because it's black and white. But you do want to make sure there's a little bit of difference enough that you can see that there are two shades of the black seeds. That gives it, again, that more dimension. Like seeds that are a little further back in the flesh would be a lighter color, and the ones that are more at the top would be a darker color. All right, there you have it, a dragon fruit.